Hey, hey.
Hey,
This is the Brian and Kristen podcast. I'm Brian,
and I'm Kristen.
and I'm coming from you from Ohio. And Kristen today is coming to you from a hurricane area. Kristen, let's delve into that first before we get started. How's that sound?
This is
Update.
where I'm supposed to be. Yeah, this is where I'm supposed to be outside, like blowing in the wind, trying to hold on and report live.
Yeah, come on. That would help our viewership.
I did that one time just for entertainment purposes. It's pretty funny. I always feel like those reporters are extra dramatic, or why are they actually out during all that? But anyway, yes, it's a Tropical Storm Debbie. It's been a real downer all day.
Debbie
Uh,
Downer.
yeah, lots of rain and wind. So I guess we'll see what happens.
Now, are you scared?
Not really. I feel like when hurricanes, this is the difference between hurricanes and tornadoes. When tornadoes come in Ohio, like you don't know, they happen so quickly and it's like devastation right away. In a hurricane, you at least have a little time to prepare and, plan for it. So I think that's the difference.
Yeah, for sure. I think that tornadoes are kind of scary because they're just out of nowhere. And hurricanes, I mean, how many days have they warned you about this?
Well, if I watch the news on a regular basis, probably a lot more than I've been aware of. I would say two or three.
Two or three. Okay, so you got a couple
Yeah.
of days to. Now, did you ever think about maybe you should just get out of town during this hurricane or?
Well, this is a tropical storm, so I'm not as concerned. If it were a hurricane, maybe.
Well, I was in town for that tropical storm in Miami and it screwed up my rental car because I literally got stuck in the flood. It was like what I saw on television, like on the news, but it happened to me. I'm sitting there and
Right.
so
That's a Ohio person visiting Florida in the middle of a tropical storm because you just would know not to be driving in a rental car.
yeah, yeah, I was stuck. And the person at the rental car place said it happened to 20 other people. So
That's crazy.
yeah, that's totally crazy. So, but we made
Well,
it back, so that's good.
yeah, I haven't seen too many people on the street. There was one guy walking around, but it was at the point where he had already been in the rain long enough that he just was not in a hurry, so casually walking along.
And is it mostly rain? Is the wind bad?
The wind is really bad, and
Okay,
the rain. Yeah.
rain and
Yep.
wind. Well, that's tough, but I think I agree. I think that the tornado is to me scarier just because. Well, I guess it depends what level, but the surprise factor. I think that if you have a little time to prepare, that might put you at ease until it starts beating down on your windows.
Yeah, and I mean, you guys have real life tornado experience right there last
Yeah.
year, not even a year ago.
In April, it went down our street, went down our road, and luckily I was at Walmart getting some kitty litter, so I wasn't home for it. But it decimated our street, and luckily we kind of got minor damage, but nothing too much for us. But one of the house had to be totally knocked off. Now they got totally rid of the house. So it was pretty bad. It was pretty scary. So that's on that. And on that note, we got a question this week from our friend Tim Wackler wrote in, and his question, going along kind of with places to live and visit, was his question was, what is your favorite place to go to? What is your favorite place to go?
Ooh, that's a good question. I mean, I've always like Hawaii. Who wouldn't like Hawaii? It, I don't know. That seems kind of silly because I live in like a beach place, but I like to go to another beach place, but it's a much longer flight.
Yeah.
Um, I would say like a place that I've been that I thought was interesting was Brazil when I was 15.
Yeah.
So that was like life changing. And I think that's what made me more interested in travel was when I started to see like how different cultures live and the experiences that you have there. And then when I came home, I was super excited to be home and appreciative of everything that we have here. So um, yeah, but any beach location, I'm not going to complain about.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, for me, I love Covington, Ohio. Uh, um, but for traveling, I like going down to Florida. So, the places. Now, I did get to go overseas. That was fun. I mean, I'd like to keep going, like Germany, Netherlands, all those places. Now, I'm a hardcore American for right now, so so I like to travel to other countries, but as far as living and stuff like that, I think Covington, Ohio is the best for me. Uh, uh, but yeah, I like to go to Florida. As far as America, I like Florida. My favorite place, I guess, I've been is Grand Canyon, actually. That would probably be my top favorite place I've ever been, would be the Grand Canyon, because I think it's just like, I mean, it's so unique. It's like nothing I've ever seen before. So I would
Yeah, I
say, I
think
guess,
the Grand Canyon. Well, I'd say any of our national parks. I think people underestimate how many interesting places we have here in the United States, like going to Yellowstone and
yes, that
the
was awesome.
geysers, Mount Rushmore, all of those types of places that a lot of people don't even go to.
Yeah, they kind of get overlooked, right? I mean,
Hmm.
people people will go to Las Vegas, but only 4 hours away is Grand Canyon.
That's true. You don't even realize it's that close.
And it's two totally different aspects of the world, because Grand Canyon is all natural, beautiful, and then Las Vegas is all nasty and man-made.
Yeah, and they're both deserts,
And they're
right?
both deserts. Yeah, that's true. That's true. So for that, I guess that Grand Canyon would be my top place that I've seen. I mean, I would love to see the pyramids, of course, or something like that. But to live, I guess I'm satisfied where I am. Especially if the apocalypse hits. But unless there's a tornado that hits around here, that's just not good. But um, so that was Tim's question this week, which was a good one. And
Yeah, I think
we
he
also
asked also in there though, what do I miss the most about not being in at home, being in
yes,
Covington?
he did. He did. What do you think about that?
I would say a slower pace of life and peace and quiet. Like it does not get quieter than when you're at home at night. At home, I mean Covington home. Like
Yeah,
you don't, and you can see the stars in the sky, and it's like, I mean, it's a little creepy sometimes. It's so quiet. I'm not used to that, but I miss that a lot. And then it's just a slower pace of life. People are friendly. So all of that, it feels like kind of like taking a break whenever I come home.
yeah. I think that's uh, one of the things. Now, I think if you came from a city and you came out here, it could be too quiet, right? It could be
Yeah,
if
it's scary.
yeah. I think that and like the stuff we see out here, you see a lot of animals and stuff like that, and if you're not used to it, that might be scary for you, right?
Could be. If you don't know
Yeah.
what deer are.
Yeah, yeah, totally. So, hey, shout out to Gooseney's cellmate. He dropped a line, swine time. Hey. Uh, so feel free to chirp in on the chat if you guys want, and with questions and whatnot. We got a question too for you, Kristen. Was that the final one from Tim, by the way, that you remember?
I
That was
think
kind of
so.
Dr. Gonzo. What's up? We're going to be going on Dr. Gonzo's podcast at some point. Um, uh, and Dr. Gonzo was asking, how's your foot doing?
Oh, so much better. I kind of forget that it was even, I mean, it hurts sometimes, but I'm back at it. And I'm excited. I'm going to be back to flying this week.
Great, great. That's going to be fun. Any, do you know where you're going to be headed?
Yes, I'm going to Myrtle Beach and Orange County, California.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I feel like those are good places. I haven't been to Myrtle Beach, I don't think, since we were kids. I remember I had a green t-shirt from there.
Did I go to Myrtle Beach as a kid? I don't remember
I would
that.
imagine.
I know I went to Virginia Beach in high school for a wrestling tournament, but I didn't do very well because I went to the beach the night before and was up too late. but but the but I guess I probably did go because I want to go to Myrtle Beach. I have a friend that lives there, Suicide Jimmy. So if you go to Myrtle Beach and you run into Suicide Jimmy, he and Suicide Jimmy actually, to bring the story back around, he and I went to one of my favorite places to travel next to probably Grand Canyon was St. Martin Island. That place was beautiful.
Oh,
Yeah, we did a comedy show there back like 10 years ago. So, but he lives
wow.
in Myrtle Beach. So that was pretty cool. And now, Kristen, have you been watching the Olympics at all?
I have been.
And what's your take on the Olympics so far?
Oh, geez. I feel like this is like, I don't know what this question is like, hook, line, and sinker for something. I'm not sure what I'm supposed to answer here.
Oh, well,
Um,
whatever. If you've seen any of the sports or anything like that.
I have. I watched the men's 100 sprinting. I don't know. I look at it from the athletic, like how athletic these people are and all the years that they spent to train and the dedication. And then like you can either win and that's, or you spend all that time and have like some crazy thing happen and then that's it. All that time spent and nothing, and it's over so quickly.
You know, it's so true because Mom and I watched the swimming, and there was the girls. They did these. They're doing laps like backward, forward. You know, I don't know the names, but anyways, one of them she got second, but she turned when she hit the wall and flipped over. She did something that was like wasn't right, and she got disqualified. You
Oh,
know,
brother.
yeah, it wasn't like I don't think it was like she was intentionally cheating, but let's say she was supposed to swim
Right.
backward and kicked over on the thing and was forward first or something. So she went from getting second to getting disqualified. So I feel like that would be pretty heartbreaking.
Yeah, that's like you just make that mistake probably because you're under such pressure to obviously do well.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I was kind of getting at something because the Olympics were kind of
I know.
controversial. Yes.
I know. That's why I was like, yep, I appreciate the athletes.
So yeah, so we can stay on that. But I think it's unfortunate because a lot of these athletes. I think because I got to meet this guy. His name is Mason Paris, and he trained with Nick Spatola as a kid, and he's going for the heavyweight wrestling championship. He's going for the gold medal
Wow.
for. But it's unfortunate that all this other stuff happens because I think that overshadows all these people who worked so hard. These they're putting in they're putting in all this kind of crazy stuff at the Olympics and mixing women and men into sports and stuff. And then that overlooks, like you said, the person doing the 100 meters who spent his whole life and her whole life to get good. And then you have like a really radical opening ceremony that makes people not want to watch the Olympics with a lot of, I don't know, propaganda and bad stuff involved that really isn't appropriate for kids watching the Olympics or even adults watching the Olympics. And that's not fair to the athletes who've spent their whole lives working to accomplish this goal. And now you got a lot of people that don't want to watch the Olympics anymore. So these people don't get to shine like they should. And instead of talking about their athletic accomplishments, now everybody's talking about all the horrific things going on under the Olympic Committee.
Yeah, we'll leave it at that.
Okay, leave it at that. So, all right. So, Kristen, we'll leave it at that. I'm glad I got my opinion in on that. So, and I did it very tastefully there. If I would have been put on there, otherwise it won't be. So we got a couple questions here. Okay, first off, what's up, Counter Rick? That's my buddy Rick Carter. Rick, I've been wanting to hit you up because I'm going to be going to New York. Rick lives in New York, so I'm going to be going out there next week for a few days. So I want to meet up with you, Rick. Then we got Dr. Gonzo asking, what was it like growing up with both parents being lawyers? Is that a question that we got time to answer on this one, or should we?
I think we should make it you want, oh, okay. Well, then you start.
Should we make that one for the next episode?
I think save it for the next episode.
that's a long topic right there. That's
Yeah.
we can finish that in 5 minutes. And then he asked, is Suicide Jimmy little? No, Suicide Jimmy's regular size. That's a great callback to one of my stand-up comedy jokes
Oh, that's
about
right.
so if you know my routine, you know about uh, little Jimmy. So and then we got Larry Grandma Johnson could start in the WNBA Women's Olympic basketball. So yeah, it was. You know what? I never really had followed women's basketball until Caitlin Clark came around, and then I kind of started getting into it mainly because she broke the record of the college women, and then there was all these controversies on her, and people foul her a lot or whatever. And but apparently, and not saying I would really sit and watch an entire WNBA game, but it's been popping up on my feed sometimes, her 3-point shots. And apparently, though, she didn't make the Olympics because they said, um, she was too young or whatever. And then but that kind of didn't seem right. But then I guess there was a game between the All-Stars and the Olympic team, and the All-Stars won, and she was on the
Hmm.
All-Star. So that was kind of interesting. And so there's Rick with Hello Humans. So we're just going to leave that in. Hello Humans. So that's kind of, we went to the Olympics in 1998. Remember that?
1996.
Oh, 1996. Oh, yeah, that's right.
In Atlanta.
1996 in Atlanta. What a wild trip. We were all teenagers, and it got a little too much for Mom and Linda there. We think everybody was getting on there,
Yeah, but don't you think the craziest part was that we were in Centennial Park and we were complaining about wanting to go home, and then they they weren't really wanting to take us home, but then they did, and then that's when the bomb went off. Like, we just missed it.
Yeah, we must have. You must have been your sixth
Sixth sense. I'm like, we got to get out of here.
So
We don't want to be around for that.
Because yeah, we went into. I mean, we watched a lot of great events, but the place where the bomb went off that year, we were standing right there in that area, just 2 hours before, an hour before, and we were like, we want to go home. We were getting tired and restless, and sure enough, we got lucky. We could have been right there. We could have been blown up right now. There wouldn't be the number one podcast, Brian and Kristen. Number one
That
podcast.
was crazy though that we just missed it.
Yeah, we just missed it. That was luck there. Yeah, we're lucky that we escaped that year. I think we even watched. We watched. Man, we saw so many events, and we even saw a unexpected race at one point when the lady got her purse stolen from her, and she tried to chase the guy who got it, but she wasn't.
Oh, I forgot about that.
He wasn't fast enough to catch him on that Olympic event.
If all that stuff was happening in 1996, there's no chance I would go now.
Right.
It was crazy enough then.
Yeah. You know what? Think about that though. If that were to happen today at the Olympics, if some guy stole some lady's purse, there'd probably be a better chance of him getting caught though, because somebody would probably pull out a cell phone and video him as he's running with the purse, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
Maybe.
And it just seemed like, just in general, there was just like nuttiness happening all the time. I don't know. It just felt that way.
Yeah. Yeah, there was. I mean, it was wild, but I think now would be worse. I mean, I think the world, I don't know. I just look at the world now like it just keeps getting worse. But I don't know if that's because I'm getting older and that's more of that mindset.
Or because you just keep saying it's getting worse. So you just keep seeing the worst things and the worst things. Change your outlook. Maybe you'll find the better things.
That's a good point. That's a good point, Kristen. That's a good point. That should be a clip, because I'm thinking the world's getting worse. So I keep seeing things that make it appear to me that the world's getting worse.
yeah, you like attract it. I mean, that's like a real thing, is that you attract like whatever you're putting out there. So if it's like, oh, it's getting worse, it's getting worse, the universe is going to show you the things that are going to make that true.
So if I start saying it's getting better, things will start getting better.
I mean, you might start to see a difference. I changed my outlook on some stuff, and then all of a sudden I walk down the street and people are waving at me and saying hello. And, these are people I don't even know. I just
Yeah,
changed my attitude about like just enjoying my walks and things, and people acknowledge me like they know me, and it's hilarious. And it's just
yeah,
because I changed my conversation in my mind.
that's true. So yeah, and Rick's making a point here. It's getting worse because you're getting old, and Kristen may be onto something there about the attraction of worse. Yep, 100%. So, well, we did good, Kristen. We did
Wait,
20
but
minutes.
before we go, we have announcements. We have
Oh,
a
that's
special
right. How
announcement.
could I- Most important announcement.
Yeah, this is the real reason we're doing the podcast today, is for our special announcements.
Yeah, we should have
Just
put that
one.
we should have put that in the beginning. But yes, well, yeah, we got a couple. Yeah, go. So you go with this one first. Special
Okay.
announcement from our sponsor. We don't get paid, YouTube, but this is from our sponsor.
Sponsor our mom.
Yeah.
So our mom is going to be on Bloomberg August 10th at 11 p.m. So if you're around, watch that. She'll be talking financial things, longevity, all the things that you may be interested in. And if you have any questions, you can also email her at swinehart@osaic, OSAIC wealth.com. And she can work with people all over the country because of Zoom. So that is August 10th.
Yeah,
at
that's
11
really
on Bloomberg.
August 10th, 11th. And that's really cool because, it was on, at first they aired her on Fox News
Business.
and it went Fox Business. Sorry. Yeah. Fox Business. And it went so well that Bloomberg picked up the interview. So that's pretty cool. So we're happy that she's doing that and doing well. And we've been trying to get her on the podcast here, but she's being a diva. So, and we're going.
I think that's it. She just doesn't like to be on video, and I can't blame her for
That's
that.
true. Yeah, that's true. So, and we're gonna, we'll connect her with you, Rick, and then, but yeah, and then what else? Oh, and then your mom is intense. Yes, Dr. Gonzo, she is. Trust us. We know. But and I wanted to give special. We're gonna give out a gift today to our buddy Tim Wackler. He's been giving us some great questions, tuning into every episode. So I'm giving him a free ticket to the Eagles comedy show in Covington, Ohio. The comedy show August 24th. So Tim, hopefully you're watching this episode. You got 2 free tickets for you. That will be under your name at the comedy show at the Eagles August 24th at 8 p.m. for being one of our top guys, top people. So, and that's a congrats. Earlier on, put congrats. So we're gonna congrats to Tim. You got a free ticket there. Which should be great. All right, Kristen. Well, this is you guys have been listening to the Brian and Kristen podcast. We're a brother and sister podcast duo, and we appreciate you guys listening. Kristen, thanks for joining me. Anything else before we leave?
Nope.
All right. Well, this chat room got going, so I was happy to see everybody here. Goose's cellmate, Dr. Gonzo, and Count Richter. Have a great night. Yep. Thanks for joining me, Kristen, and we'll see you on the next one.
Bye.